right, we are open to last night's homework, which was page 393 and 394. There it is. So, we are subtracting fractions. We had numbers 1, 2, 7 through 10, and 13. So, for number 1 and 2, some of you were looking at this yesterday and you came and asked me questions. You're like, Miss E, this just looks kind of weird. They did exactly what we've been doing. They just stacked them on top of each other instead of writing them right next to each other, like left and right. So, for number 1, you should have, well, they already put the least common denominator for you of 6. So 1/6 we would keep the same. We wouldn't need to convert it. But then 1/3, 3 times 2 is 6, so 1 times 2 is 2. So 2/6 minus 1/6 equals 1/6. Michael, turn around, please. Then, for number 2, same thing. The book already gave you the least common denominator, which was 12. Now, 5/12 we didn't need to convert, so we kept it the same. 2/3, however, 3 times 4 is 12, so 2 times 4 is 8. So 8/12 minus 5/12 gets us 3/12, which if you simplified would then give you 1/4. So either one of those answers works for number 2. Then we jump down to number 7 and 8. So for these two, they did not give you the least common denominator. So for number 7, the least common denominator was 72. Okay? So for 8/8, that would have become 72 over 72. Then for 4/9, that would have become 32 over 72. So then you would have had 72 minus 32, which is 40 over 72. So if you have 40 70-seconds as your answer, that works. You also could have simplified it down to 5/9. So 5/9 or 40 70-seconds or 40 over 72 works. Either one of those works. Questions on number 7? All right, then we have number 8. So for number 8, we had 17/18 minus 2/3. So again, you needed to come up with the least common denominator. Well, 3 goes into 18, doesn't it, 5th grade? So our least common denominator was 18. So 17/18, you'd keep the same. Then 2/3, well, 3 times 6 gets you 18. So then you would have taken 2 times 6, which would get you 12. So you would have had 17/18 minus 12/18, which would have given you 5/18. How do we feel on this page? 1 through 5, page 393, how did we feel? Show me on your hand. How do we feel about this page of our homework? Okay. Show me on your hand. How did you feel? I'm waiting for a few people to show me. All right, Jack P., how did you feel? Philip, how did you feel? All right, hands down. Now let's go on to page 394. So for page 394, we had 9 and 10 and then 13. So for 9 and 10, we had to use the table that they gave us about the hikers and the fraction of the trail that they hiked. So number 9 said, what fraction describes how much more of the trail John hiked than Andrea hiked? So they're asking us to find the difference between the distances they hiked. So we would have taken John's fraction, which is 1/2, and subtracted 2/5 from it. So 1/2 minus 2/5, which if we convert them, we would find the least common denominator, which is 10. So 2/5 would have become 4/10, and 1/2 would have become 5/10. So you would have had 5/10 minus 4/10, and so your answer should have been 1/10. Now, 5th grade, what is my book missing from the answer? Chanel? The unit. 1/10 what? 1/10 of the trail. Yep, 1/10 more of the trail. So make sure you have something about the trail hiked or the trail as a unit. Remember, if it's a word problem, it needs to have a word in the answer. Then number 10. What fraction describes how much more of the trail Callie hiked than John hiked? Then we're taking Callie, 4/5, minus John, 1/2. So again, convert it, or find the least common denominator, which is 10. So 4/5 would become 8/10, and 1/2 would become 5/10. So 8/10 minus 5/10 would get you 3/10. And again, my book's missing the unit. So 3/10 of the trail, 3/10 of the trail hiked, anything like that. Yeah. Oh, yep, you're right the first time then. Questions on number 9 or 10, 5th grade? Show me on your hand, how did you feel about 9 and 10? How did you feel about these two? Okay. How do we feel? Okay. All right, hands down. Finally, we had number 13. So number 13 says, Paul's dad made a turkey pot pie for dinner on Wednesday. The family ate 4/8 of the pie. On Thursday after school, Paul ate 2/16 of the pie for a snack. What fraction of the pie remained? So this was a multi-step problem. You first needed to add up the amount of the pie that was eaten. So we needed to add 4/8 and 2/16. So find the least common denominator. That would be 16. So 2/16 would have stayed the same. 4/8 though would have become 8/16. So we would have added 8/16 and 2/16. So that would have given us 10/16. So then you think, okay, 10 out of 16 pieces was eaten, 10/16. So that means 6/16 would be left over. So for 13, if you said 6/16 of the pie, that answer works. So 6/16 works. Then you could have simplified for 3/8 of the pie. So 6/16 or 3/8 would work. Are there questions on number 13? Okay, how did we feel about number 13? It's a little trickier. How do we feel? I want everyone to show me 1 through 5. How did you feel about 13? Okay, awesome. Okay. Philip, how did you feel? Jack P? Okay, I know that one was a little trickier. Nice job, 5th grade. Now what I need from you, please open in your notebook to the next clean page for some practice problems. Go ahead.